in a vote aimed at restoring democracy in a country known as one of the most corrupt in the world. Two long-time and bitter foes, Sheikh Hasina of the Awami League and Khalida Zia of the Bangladesh National Party, faced off once again on Monday. Sheikh Hasina and her 15-party alliance, the Mujahot, or Grand Coalition, enjoyed a grand victory, grander than even they expected. The Election Commission says they've taken a minimum of 255 of the 295 parliamentary seats declared. With 81 million eligible voters, Bangladesh is the Muslim world's third largest plurality, being the first chance they had had to vote in 7 years and coming only 2 weeks after a 2-year period of emergency rule ended. Turnout was high at over 70%. Sheikh Hasina's supporters have been handed the biggest parliamentary majority since 1973. The 2 years of emergency rule saw Sheikh Hasina arrested in an attempt by the army-backed caretaker government to shake up the political system in Bangladesh and rewrite how things were done. Hasina had murder charges filed against her and was accused of extorting $1 million. Khalida Zia was also arrested, but their attempts to drive the two out of politics failed, and in the end, both were released from jail to prepare for the elections. Security has been tight, in part to preclude an outcome similar to 2007, when elections were cancelled due to violence. 50,000 armed troops and 600,000 police have been deployed in an attempt to crack down on disruption at booths and possible fraud. 200,000 electoral observers, including 2,500 foreign monitors, were present. The UN-funded digital electoral roll eliminated 12.7 million fake names, raising hopes that this election would be the freest and fairest in Bangladesh's short history. So Four Corners asks, how transparent were the elections? How far has the nation gone in countering corruption? And is Bangladesh really about to turn over a new leaf, even though the same old faces remain? A very warm welcome to Four Corners, coming to you from the Iranian capital, Tehran, with me, Nargis Mobalaghi. We are, of course, discussing the elections in Bangladesh, and for a deeper insight into the issue, we're joined by Dr. Habib Khondker from Abu Dhabi, from Zayed University, the head of the sociology department, and from Dhaka, Dr. Ataur Rahman, from the Dhaka University, professor of politics and the president of the Bangladesh Political Science Association. Many thanks to both of you for being with us. Dr. Rahman, let me start with you. Has Bangladesh finally seen a free and fair, a democratic election?
Bangladesh finally has been successful in holding a free, fair and credible election after 7 years. This is indeed a landmark for the democratic journey of Bangladesh. And I think the election was conducted fairly, and from 75 to 90% people voted in this election in a free, fair and transparent manner. So this is indeed a great achievement for Bangladesh.
Dr. Khondker, joining us from Abu Dhabi, many thanks for being with us. Would you echo those sentiments? Because, you know, we are hearing that the Bangladesh National Party has said that their supporters were barred from some polls and that they will make a formal complaint.
One of their senior leaders accepted that this was a very peaceful and neutral election by now, but the party command is saying that in certain polling stations there were untoward incidents, and that is true, you know, but in terms of magnitude, you know, it's in a small number of places there have been some untoward incidents, and following the elections there have been 1 or 2 reported incidences of violence. But compared to previous elections where hundreds of people, you know, were gunned down or murdered, pre and post-elections violence. This one has been a very peaceful and very efficiently run elections, to the extent that the chief advisor has said that this election is a model election for Bangladesh and for countries in the same league.
And of course the scale of this victory surprising everyone, not least the Awami League itself. What was behind such a landslide victory, do you think?
Actually, this is a huge surprise, because about 2 weeks ago I had a chance to speak to the leader of the Awami League on the phone, and she was not that confident. She was telling me that they have a good chance of winning, but she could not even imagine that this would be such a huge landslide victory. I think what has happened, the 2 years of caretaker government in Bangladesh, it's a non-party interim administration, that created a space for people to reflect on what has been going on in the last 5 years under the rule of Bangladesh Nationalist Party. And they were comparing Bangladesh Nationalist Party with Bangladesh Nationalist Party itself, because previously the same party ruled without such huge corruption and so on. And the recent administration of the same party was riddled with corruption, and some of these stories of corruption have now made it to international press. One of the children of the past Prime Minister Begum Khalida Zia was stashing away cash in Singapore, and the Singapore government has made a full disclosure and so on. So these are not just allegations of corruption, and all this information, was made available to the people of Bangladesh via a free media, and at the same time, people were quite tired of using religion and religion-based politics. So it has been a vote against, the abuse of religion and excessive corruption, and it has been basically a vote against malgovernance of the past regime headed by Begum Khalida Zia.
But Sheikh Hasina herself also among those arrested for corruption charges in the last 2 years. Dr. Rahman, can she and her party restore their reputation and disconnect from that reputation of corruption over the last more than a decade?